Click the bell icon to get latest videos from Ekeeda.
Hello friends, I welcome you all to this video. With this video, we are going to start with a new subject. The subject is titled Microwave Engineering. Microwave engineering subject is very important to the students of electronics engineering, electronics and telecommunication engineering and the related branches. So here with this video, we start a lecture series to take each and every topic related to microwave engineering. So here in microwave engineering, the first chapter we have dedicated to introduction to the subject. Whatever the fundamental details we require to start exactly the design and analysis aspects of microwave engineering, we shall be covering first of all. And with those understanding, with those fundamentals, we exactly start with the core syllabus of this particular subject. Now, the very first topic of first chapter is microwave frequencies, and with the understanding of microwave frequencies, we shall proceed. So let us start with this topic. So here the microwave frequencies is to be discussed, but before, as this is the first video, we shall be having a comment on what exactly our subject is and what are the basic objectives with which we should be learning this particular subject. So as the title of this subject is microwave engineering, we have defined the three objectives behind the study of this particular subject. So this microwave engineering involves the study of various microwave devices. I get it clear to you people that the microwave devices are basically onto the two platforms manufactured in this particular subject. So one is vacuum tube platform and another is semiconductor platform. So very first objective here is to learn the basic principle of operations of the microwave devices. So here we have defined the second objective. The second objective is to know all the application areas of the microwave engineering. After that, the microwave engineering system is there. So the practical aspects that are required to understand the design and analysis of this particular microwave engineering is there. Hence, the third objective it will be there to study experimental design and analysis. So with these three objectives, we proceed into our subject microwave engineering. Now, if you focus your attention onto the microwave engineering title, it has basically two terms. First of all, the microwave, and the second is engineering. So what exactly the meaning of microwave is there that we shall be discussing? Generally, the microwave term refers to the microwave frequencies. So the question is, what exactly the frequency is? So defining the frequency is actually, it is the rate at which something repetitive occurs in a fixed time interval or given sample. So that is actually the frequency. Now, as we are having the engineering domain, with respect to the signal processing, we can have the definition of the frequency, and that definition can be given as the number of signal waves that passes a fixed signal space in given time. So for example, we consider a wave which is having a repetitive nature, and if a wave requires half second to have that particular repetition of fixed structure, so in that example we shall say that the frequency is 2 Hertz. And if the case the signal wave requires 1/100 of an hour, if the wave requires 1/100th of an hour, so in that case we shall say that the frequency is, so now if the wave requires 1/100th of an hour, so in that case we shall say that the frequency is 100 per hour. Now here you can see one diagram. In this diagram, the two axes have been taken for the help to mark the references. The vertical axis, that is marking the amplitude of the wave, and onto the horizontal axis, here we can have the marking of time or phase. So here in this diagram, you see the two cycles are there, and for the two repetitive cycles, the time marking is 1 second. So here we can say that the frequency is 2 Hertz. Onto the wave, you can have the phase markings also. So for one complete cycle we have 360 degree of phase. So the complete 2 cycles have been shown, and here we can have the 2 hertz here. Now, as we have defined the frequency with respect to the time required by the repetitive structure to occur, so there is a relation of the frequency with the time. So the relation is inverse relation. So if you have a formulation, f can be given as 1 upon t. F is inversely proportional to the time period, which is denoted as capital T. So capital T is in terms of seconds, and frequency, as far as the SI units are concerned, it will be into the hertz. Now, the communication engineering is having the signal processing basically. So the signal is traveling into the space. So with respect to the space, the repetitive nature of the signal is occurring there. Hence, we have the relation of frequency with respect to the space also. Just now we have seen the frequency time relation. So similarly, here we have the frequency to wavelength relation. So the frequency in terms of wavelength can be given as f is equal to c by lambda, or you can say that the product of wavelength with that of the frequency is equal to c, where c is the velocity of the light into the free space. So the constant value of the c is equal to 3 into 10 raised to power 8 meter per second. F denotes the frequency and lambda denotes the wavelength. Wavelength is the distance covered for one wave cycle that we have just now shown into the previous diagram. So as we have gone through the relations of frequency with respect to the time, frequency with respect to the space here, we can say that because of the inverse relationship, if we are going for higher values of frequencies, the wavelength is going to reduce here. Now, based on to the frequency for a repetitive signal, here the signal generally we say that it is periodic signal, we can have a simple classification of signal. The two types of signal, we can say that low frequency signal and high frequency signal. In the diagram, onto the upper half you find a low frequency signal where only few wave cycles are getting completed into the fixed duration there, and on comparison at the lower half you find a high frequency signal. The comparatively higher number of wave cycles are completed into the same duration. Hence, we categorize them as low frequency signal and high frequency signal. Now, based on to the frequency, we have just now seen the simple classification of signal to be either a low frequency signal or high frequency signal. In the communication engineering, if you show the frequency components into one diagram, that actually we term as the spectrum for that particular signal. So in one diagram, if we can have the variation from low frequency to higher frequency, or with respect to the wavelength, if you go from higher wavelength to that of the lower wavelength, we can have the diagram that you can see here. So at the right hand extreme, the group of wavelengths we generally term the radio waves. The radio waves are here with the highest possible wavelength into the diagram. After the radio waves, we have the infrared waves. After infrared waves, we have the optical region in which you can see the 7 colors. So these are basically possible because of the wavelengths in that particular ranges. So right from red to that of the indigo. So right from the red to that of the violet, the 7 different kinds of colors with respect to the 7 different frequency or wavelength ranges you can see. After that, here we have the X-rays and the gamma rays. So in the diagram, you can see the directions with the increase of the wavelength or the direction with the increase of the frequency content. So if you are going to have increase into the frequency value, if you talk about the energy content, the energy with respect to the signal is going to increase. Now it's time to have the introduction and the definition of what exactly the microwave frequencies mean. So microwave frequencies are generally the frequencies for the repetitive nature of the signal having 1 gigahertz to that of the 300 gigahertz value. In terms of wavelength, it can be 30 centimeter up to the 1 centimeter. So approximately we can say that the wavelength that is inside 1 feet, that can be termed as a microwave. So for 1 feet, the maximum dimension in terms of centimeters, it will be 30 centimeter, and the smallest unit of dimension, it will be 1 millimeter. So a proper definition of the microwave can be in a very simple form. Microwaves are basically the electromagnetic waves that are having the frequency range 1 gigahertz to 300 gigahertz. If you see the word microwave here, the micro actually refers to the tininess. So if you see the word microwave, the micro actually refers to the tininess. So tininess, that means the wavelength in the terms of microwave ranges exhibited by the electromagnetic waves. So such electromagnetic waves are called as microwaves. Now here we have a wide range of frequency values for the microwaves, right from 1 gigahertz to 300 gigahertz. So the different band designations today are available to have a categorization. Very first of all, the band designations were proposed in the duration of First World War. Very first of all, the different band designations were given in the duration of World War II. But these band designations were never been officially sanctioned by any government, professional or industrial organization. So the first band designations for the microwave regions were given on to the 24th May 1970. So this was for the US military. So in the table you can see right from A, B, C, D, E, F, you can see the various band designations with the frequency ranges mentioned into the gigahertz. Next to these band designations, right from G, H up to M, the band designations were given in this particular duration. After that, we have afterwards the professional society, that is Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers, IEEE, has given the various band designations into the microwave regions. So it starts with HF. HF stands for the high frequency. Then after HF, here we have VHF. VHF stands for very high frequency. After VHF, we have UHF, that stands for ultra high frequency. After ultra high frequency, we have the band designations with the name L band, S band, C band, X band, KU band, K band, KA band, millimeter band, and finally the sub-millimeter band. So various frequency ranges in terms of gigahertz you can see into the table here. The uses of these microwaves designated for the specific bands here that we can see here. The HF stands for the high frequency. It is basically used for long distance communication. Next to the HF, here we have VHF. VHF is used for FM radio and television broadcasting. The UHF, that stands for ultra high frequency, is used for short distance communication. Next to the UHF band, there it is L band. L band is used by some communication satellite as well as for the terrestrial communication. Next to the L band, there it is S band. S band is used by some communication satellites used for the prediction of weather forecast. After L and S band, there it is C band. C band, actually C stands for the compromise band. After C band, there it is X band. X band is used by some communication satellites and X band radar also. When you shall be working into the laboratories for microwave engineering design and further analysis, the practical bench setup for microwave engineering actually works for the X band. So it is from 8 to 12 gigahertz. After X band, there is KU band. KU actually stands for Kurz under band, and it is also used by some communication satellites. Next to the KU, there it is K band, and after K, there it is KA band. So KA band is actually said to be the Kurz above band. So these are the various band designations up to the KA. Now, what are the advantages of working with the microwaves? So up till now, I hope it is very clear that microwave are the basically electromagnetic waves with the frequency range 1 gigahertz to that of the 300 gigahertz. So very first advantage, we can say that the advantage of larger bandwidth. If you are working with larger bandwidth, then you can have the communication of more information data into the shorter duration. So that is the first advantage of having larger bandwidth. Next to that, here we have better directive properties. So whenever the wireless communication is concerned, whatever the information we transmit with the help of transmitting antenna, it is intended towards the location of the receiving antenna. But in wireless medium, the focus that is based on actually the radiation pattern, so it will be there towards the receiving antenna, how much the power that was communicated is received by it, so it will be having a particular directive property. So using the microwave frequency ranges, the directive property is also achieved at some desired levels. Next to this particular property, there it is another advantage. The advantage is working onto the low power consumption platform. As we are having increase into the frequency, the devices that are working onto the increased frequency have miniaturization. That means the size of the devices are getting down and down. So with low size devices, the power consumption is also low. So that is again one of the advantage to work with the microwaves. Next is the advantage of padding effect. With the use of microwave communication, the padding is avoided as we are working most of the times with line of sight communication. Now here we shall be having a brief introduction to the course content, what exactly we are going to learn in this particular chapters of microwave engineering. So next to the introduction to microwaves, we have the second chapter and the title is Microwave Linear Beam Tubes. So microwave linear beam tubes are sometimes abbreviated as O-type tubes also. So based on to the vacuum tube platforms, these have been modified to work with the microwave frequencies. So the details you can see into the chapter 2. After that, the cross-filled tubes working on to the microwave frequencies are there into the chapter number 3. These are abbreviated as M-type tubes. Now, after understanding the details of how the microwave is generated onto the vacuum tube platform into the chapter number 2 and chapter number 3, we go on to the semiconductor platform. So in the semiconductor platform, the chapter number 4 introduces us to the transferred electron devices. So some semiconductor devices working on to the principles where the electrons are transferred from one energy level to another energy level, that will be there in this particular chapter. Next to that, here we have chapter number 5. So in chapter number 5, the devices are said to be avalanche time devices. The devices are said to be the avalanche transit time devices. Basically, the transit time is the time taken by the charge carrier entity to go from one terminal to another terminal of the device. So based on to the avalanche transit time, the semiconductor devices are there that are again generating the microwave frequency, microwave signal. So those we shall be studying in this particular chapter. Next to that, here we have microwave transistors and the tunnel diodes. The tunnel diode high frequency characteristic is very well known. So it is also beneficial to work with the microwave signals. So it is also included into the next chapter. Now, these particular chapters have given us information how exactly the microwave signal can be generated. Now further propagation of that particular microwave signal into the communication medium, that we shall be seeing. So here we next chapter have, that is microwave transmission lines. Now there are various alternatives to carry the propagation of microwave into the microwave engineering system. So it can be with the help of rectangular waveguides or circular waveguides or the strip lines also, micro strip lines. So these are the topics that we are going to take into the subsequent chapters. Next to that, after understanding the waveguides, we shall be working on to the understanding of microwave resonators. After microwave resonators, we shall be understanding the various microwave components. So the first chapters that are actually associated with the generation of microwave energy, we can categorize as the microwave active devices. Whereas those components or the devices that are present into the microwave system but they are not generating, they are either processing onto that particular microwave signal or carrying it forward, we say that these are the microwave passive devices. So these various microwave components we shall be covering, and after that we have the various measurements with respect to the microwave communication, microwave propagation, that we are going to cover into the chapter microwave measurements. Finally, after understanding monolithic microwave integrated circuits, we shall be covering the fundamentals of radar engineering. So with the understanding of microwave frequencies and some fundamentals, we are finished with our first topic, that is microwave frequencies. I hope you have understood it well. By the next lecture, we shall be having the introduction to various microwave devices that are a part of microwave engineering. So I hope you have liked these videos and you shall be with us up to the end of this particular subject, microwave engineering. So you can have subscription to the Ekeeda channel for more information on to our subject or some another subjects also. Thank you.